Hi, everyone. Welcome to Highly Strange Daze on the Power Network. I'm Amy, and with me is Shannon. Tonight, we're going down into one of the creepiest parts of the ParaWorld, paranormal kids. Nothing is scarier than the stuff kids say that make your skin crawl and your eyes go wide. The "Mommy, I used to watch you sleep when you were little. I was a ghost" kind of statements. Tonight, we're diving into those stories and more. Have you ever spoken to a child who said something that curled your toes about the paranormal? We're dying to know in the comments. I'm rolling credits while the rest of the Power Crew and Dragonflies come in. And shout out to our replay crew. We love you. Hey guys, welcome to Highly Strange Days. I'm Amy.
And I'm Shannon.
My neighbor Jennifer sits all alone. She dreams of flying up to the moon. And she thinks it's the perfect night for dreaming and make believing.
I am really feeling like it is fall for some reason. And so I'm feeling extra spooky. And so that's why I'm really excited about the topic tonight. Before we get started, though, we are coming to you today on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Hi, everyone. If you could just dance your fingers up and give us some DNA on that hearts and thumbs up button, helps us dance out into the algorithm party out there, bring more people back to the party. It's just a free way to help us out, and it's really, really appreciated. The world already throws enough at my body: stress, flare ups, toxins everywhere. I don't need my deodorant piling on too. That's why I use Wild, and Wild is tonight's sponsor. It keeps the junk out because it doesn't put any in. Clean, refillable, eco-friendly, and honestly cute enough to leave on your counter. Support the Power Network and grab yours with 20% off at shopwildrefill.com/parawomen. Use your code parawomen at checkout for that 20% off. Thanks to Wild for keeping us safe and fresh and backing what we do here on the Power Network. Also, I want to say too, I don't know if you guys, if any men are considering getting some of the deodorant, but it comes in different scents, so you can get a male scent or not a scent at all. It comes unscented, and it's really strong. I sweat like a man, like a dude, and so it works for me. So I urge all the guys out there, if you're considering using it, that you should try it too, because I think it really would work for you. Okay, so tonight I have Shannon with me. Oops, I didn't mean to mute her. Let me bring her up. Accidentally muted her. Hold on, Shannon. Okay.
I was already muted, I think.
Oh, okay. I thought I did that. I was like, oh, shoot. I didn't mean to do that. But hi, Shannon.
Hi, Amy. How are you?
I'm good. I'm
Good.
excited about tonight's show.
I am too. And I think I need to get me some of that deodorant because, I am a woman of a certain age and, menopause.
Mhm.
That shit's real.
Yeah, it is real. It is real. And, I've always had issues with sweating through my clothes and stuff like that. And it really does work. So, and I've tried other products, and I haven't brought them to you guys because I didn't like it. So, this is like one of the first products that wanted to sponsor us that I like, and I'm bringing to you. And yeah, so. And
Awesome.
people
Awesome.
are trying it. I know some of you are doing it. I see it in our our stats. So if you try it and you like it, let us know.
Cool.
Okay.
Ha.
So what do you think about kids saying these things? Do you think it's creepy, sweet, or just like
Depending on the age of the child, I mean, you got to take all kinds of things into account. Age of the child, are the parents horror movie buffs? Has the child, had a chance to inadvertently see violent things on TV or weird, creepy things on TV and then repeats them? You don't know, but
Mhm.
I think the younger the child is, the less those kind of things can um, influence them and the more creepy it is.
Yeah. I just noticed your comment. Am I still sounding faint and really echoey?
You sound better, but not your normal, vibrant voice.
Okay. Well, let me pop out and then come back and see if that'll fix it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll just talk about something while you're gone. I don't know, something.
Okay. Okay.
Tonight, after we talk about all these creepy kids, I have a couple, three ParaWorld news stories to bring to you. So I hope that you'll like those two. I'm excited about them and really excited to talk about creepy kids because, as you can see from my avatar, I'm a big fan of the creepy kid. Although I've never had any creepy kids in my life, so I might not be such a fan of creepy kids if I knew any.
Okay, I'm back. Is this better?
Yes, better.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I got to share my screen again because I lost that all.
Uh-oh. Okay.
It just takes a moment.
Amy,
So,
you've had real experiences with creepy kids?
yes. Let me tell my creepy stories before we get into it. All
Okay.
right. So, we have this when I was like 12 years old, my aunt who was unable to have children all through like when I was growing like from age of birth to 12 she had like 3 or 4 miscarriages, and she had a really hard time getting pregnant, and then all of a sudden they figured out what was wrong. I think it was like a blood type issue or anyway, I'm getting off into the weeds, but so anyway, getting back, so she was able to finally start having kids when I was like 10 years old, and she had my cousin, and then she was pregnant with my next cousin, and my grandpa, which was her dad, lived with her, and he passed away when she was 9 months pregnant. And so she was 9 months pregnant and he passed away, and then like I think 2 or 3 days later it sent her into labor basically, and two or
Oh
three
yeah.
la- days later she gave birth to my cousin. And so she had the oldest was a boy and the next was a girl, and eventually she had another girl, which I'm just telling you that because it's kind of like this isn't like a big deal or anything, but anyway, so my cousin, the older cousin, the boy, would tell us the story that when they called him Pa, when Pa died, his eyes floated out of Pa and floated over into uh I'm not going to say her real name because I don't nobody's going to look up my cousins, but anyway, floated into, we'll just call her Anna. Floated into Anna, and now Pa is Anna because Anna is the only person on that side of the family that has blue eyes, and my grandpa Fisher was the only one that had blue eyes.
Weirdness.
And they're very Christian. And so it was just like this delightful story that nobody really believed. But I mean, he died 2 days before she was born. She's the only one with the blue eyes. The cousin has this story about his eyes floating out of him and going into the baby.
Yeah.
So, and the other story that I have, this is the story that always has made me believe in reincarnation. Back in the day, there wasn't a lot of like, you couldn't really get this kind of stuff. I mean, there was no internet. The library wasn't giving it to you. I used to go to like these new agey type stores and get these little pamphlets or these books or magazines, new agey type magazines. And I read this story about this woman, and I always like envisioned it because it reminded me of another story that this other woman told me. But in the story, she was saying that, you know, she was doing laundry and she had just had this baby, and she had like a 3-year-old, and 3-year-old was playing, and she went downstairs to do the laundry, and she came back up and she couldn't find the little boy anywhere, and she was looking all over the place, and she finally found the little boy in the bed in the crib with the baby, and he was nose to nose with the baby, and he was saying to the baby, "Tell me again about God, because I'm starting to forget." And that's why I believe in reincarnation. I think kids are just directly from the source, and yeah. And that's why after a certain age, you notice like if kids are paranormal, that it will end. Not all, but the vast majority, like when they hit 5 or so, forget.
Yeah, they're not so innocent.
Yeah.
I think innocence plays a lot in it.
Well, I think there's a veil that we all cross through, and the longer we stay on this earth, the more it like makes us forget.
Yeah.
And so the whole point of us coming here is to remember and to do these things, to grow as a soul, to go back as the whole and bring this growth back. That's what I believe it's all about. But, you know, and that's really kind of like what heaven is in a way. You know, you're just going back to the source, the whole, and bringing back what you've learned. And I think you come back over and over again with certain soul tribes and people.
I agree. And I believe too, and I think you pretty much touched on this, is that you kind of get assigned things you have to go through while you're
Mhm.
here, and you realize it, and I don't know if you have to agree to it, or you just know that you're going to have to go through all this shit when you get down to earth. And
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that's what's happening. And I think a lot of people are waking up to the world's like something's happening in the world right now. I don't know what it is, but it's getting different. And I think that we're getting more and more paranormal kid stories. And so I thought it would be good. And also I'm feeling very Halloween like. I don't know, it just feels like fall's coming early this year for some reason.
It
And
does.
hi,
Yeah.
Wendy. Wendy's super excited. Yeah, it feels like
Oh
that
yeah.
to you too.
Oh well, like our guest that we had a few weeks ago, the psychic, was it
Uh-huh.
Stacy?
Yeah,
Stacy? Yeah. She said, that there's no more veil.
yeah, yeah. We've got to have Stacy back. I gotta get in touch with her. But I'd like to do some readings with her because she gets in touch. She does uh the people that cross over to the other side. Those type of readings.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
So I thought we'd watch some videos first, and then I know you've got some stories that we're gonna read, and then we've got the ParaWorld news. So I
Sure.
thought we'd kick it off with the one that I keep talking about. This is a mother that is talking about what her daughter said to her about how she used to watch her when she was a little girl sleeping.
Creepiest thing your kid has ever said to you?
My daughter told me recently that she would watch me sleep when I was a kid because she was a ghost. And when I got older and of age, God made her a real person.
Now, I think these are sweet. Those type of things are sweet,
Yeah. Yes, but it also, while that situation is sweet, it also, proves that there are beings out there that watch us sleep and maybe might not necessarily be a future child.
Yeah, I'm
And
not
that's kind
thrilled
of
about
creepy.
that prospect of it. Yeah. You
Yeah,
know
that's
what,
creepy.
Shannon? You know what? You're
What?
turning a little bit too much like me there, Missy. I don't like it. I don't
You're
like it.
rubbing off. You're rubbing off on me. Now you know how it feels.
Ew.
Wow, Shannon, thanks. I never thought about that.
Tell me, what's the creepiest experience you ever had in your life, and why you still think about them?
Y'all may think I'm crazy for this one, but I swear to God, I remember this clear as day. And it was the time I kid you not, I swear I saw Bigfoot. Age 10, living in Florida, when my family was living in Bradenton, Florida. Let me just tell you the story because shit. So me and my family, when I was 10 years old, living in Florida and everything, my family lived in a small cul-de-sac, okay? Behind us was this large forest, large swamp area, and all that stuff. The only thing that separated us was like this ditch, this sewer ditch and everything, but beautiful forest. Me and my friends played in there all the time, okay? Then one day, my mama comes and tells me, hey, I talked to everyone else in the neighborhood. You and your little friends are not allowed to go into that forest anymore. You know me, I'm like, but why? She's like, don't talk back. Don't ask why. I told you not to go into the forest, so don't. My hard-headed little ass decided to go in there anyway to see what was going on and everything. So I go in there and I see that the little grove area that me and my friends played, the way was torn down. It was barricaded from the inside, which I thought was strange. The little grove area, the forest had multiple entrances to be able to get in there into the underbrush of it and everything. So I go around back in order to see if I could be able to go in the back way. And that's when the freaky shit started to happen. Once I get around back and everything, yeah, I kid you not, I saw this 7, 8 foot tall, dark-haired from head to toe, covered in fur, animal thing, okay, walking upright, and it was walking like this, kind of hunched, but definitely walking upright. I was in such shock. I did not even know what to do. All right, and then all of a sudden it stops in its tracks and just start going like as if it was smelling the air. Y'all, I did not move an inch. I moved nothing. I was so damn scared. I did not know what to do. I made myself feel as if I was non-existent in that moment. I was that scared. All of a sudden, it stopped. And it started to continue to walk. When it got further enough away, I ran back home and told my mama what was going on, running through the door going, mama, I just saw this big thing and I think it was Bigfoot and everything like that. And she's over here like, I told you not to take your ass back into that forest. Get your ass upstairs. Still remember it to this day.
I believe this man's story for a few, like the way that he showed how it walked. I thought that was interesting. And also I wanted to ask you, have you ever had a moment in your life where you were so scared that you were froze and you tried to make yourself smaller?
I don't think so. Thank God. I've never had experience with that. No. Have you?
Yeah, I have, but it wasn't anything paranormal. It was one night, I was home from college and I was at my mom's house alone. And all of a sudden I heard they had this sliding door and they had these vertical blinds. And I heard the vertical blind, and there was no animal in the house. And I heard the vertical blinds start moving, and it would stop moving, and then it started moving again, and it was like a crash moving. It wasn't just like a little tinkling moving. It was like crashing moving, and I didn't know what to do. I was froze in that bed for a while. I finally had to will myself up out of the bed and go out into the living room, and it was these balloons that kept getting caught in the fan, and it was crashing it into the vertical blinds. But I remember I was terrified.
Oh yeah, I definitely would have been too. I don't blame you.
Yeah, and I just wanted to disappear in that moment.
Oh my God.
Okay, let's keep going.
Time book, and she said, "Ah, here are those black people."
Oh wait,
Really weird, but it was also a blessing.
I thought it was queued up. I want to get right there.
Said to you.
Well, I was in bed with my 3-year-old reading her a bedtime book, and she said, "Ah, here are those black people." I'm like, "What black people?" She's like, "The black people with the red eyes, right there." And she points, and I look, and I say, "There's nobody there." And she says, "You can't see them?" I'm like, "No." And she's like, "They're right there." I'm like, "What are they doing?" She's like, "There's a line of them. They're just walking by and disappearing into the wall. They come every night." You really can't see them? I mean, she's 3.5. She was flabbergasted that I couldn't see them. I immediately ripped that child up, put her in my bed, and then I slept with the full light, not a nightlight, a full light for over 4 years. I mean,
This was the story when you told me about the black shadow. There's a few of these that we have where these kids are seeing these black shadow people. They're not on the wall. They're like shadows stand in the corner, and they've got these red eyes or a hat or both.
God, that would freak me out. Oh my God.
I think it's funny too that the 3-year-old is like flabbergasted that
She can't
she
see
can't.
them.
What are you talking about?
You know, I don't have kids, and I am thankful because this would have happened to me. I'm sure that my kid would have been like, "Hey, mom, who's that over there?"
Well, there's a few stories that like okay, so some of these stories too, just I just want to say there's a lot of swearing in these stories, some of them. So just there it's so I don't condone the way the parents talk to the kids or anything, but you're going to get where the parents are going to be as scared of what's happening as the kids are. So this one is one of them.
Going on for him, whatever, right? So I'm cleaning the house. I put him to bed. I have the night light on. And I'm like, go to bed or whatever. So I'm outside cleaning up, doing my thing. Next thing I know, he keep getting up, fucking with me and shit. Like, "Oh, mommy, I'm scared. So I'm like, "What you scared of, boy? Like, chill. I'm trying to clean up. Go to bed." Like, he like, "Oh, can you come lay down with me?" type shit. So I'm like, fuck. So I'm like, I bet. I know he gonna go to sleep like in 3 to 5 minutes if I go in there and lay down with him, right? Wrong, nigga. So I get in the room, night light on, we laying down. He starts acting weird and shit. And when I say weird, he's like covering his face. He keep pulling the cover up, putting it over his face. He doing like this. He like keep hiding this shit. I'm on my phone, but I'm noticing this from my peripheral. So I'm like, "Boy, what's good with you?" So he like, "Yo, mom, come under the covers." I'm like, "Boy, it's scorching here. I'm not getting under them covers." He like, "Can you cut on the light?" I'm like, "Boy, the light already." ISO part 2. ISO boom. He like, "Can you cut on the light?" So I'm like, "Boy, for what? We already got the night light on. Like, we don't need the light on." But I just cut the light on anyway. I cut on the light. He's still doing the weird shit. He like, "Could we get under the covers?" I'm like, "Get under the covers for what? You just told me to cut on the light. You still scared, boy? The fuck?" I'm in my phone, minding my business. He asks me again. I goes under the covers now because I'm like, you know what the fuck? So I get under there. I'm like, "Oh, you feel better now?" Y'all, this little boy said to me, "Who's that man on the ceiling?" The fuck you mean who that man on the ceiling, boy? What? And y'all, it's not like he said next to me, behind me, in front of me. You said on the ceiling, boy. Like anything on the ceiling is a fucking demon. Now, I watch a lot of movies. And I know in the movies when you be scared and shit, or you try to talk and like ask the shit questions, or you act scared, that's when the shit really start fucking with you. And I ain't want my son to know I'm a pussy. So my first instinct is ask him what the fuck the shit look like. But no, my heart beating mad fast and I'm mad scared. I'm under the covers. I'm like, because when somebody say some shit like that, like, you know how your ears get deaf and your heart beating fast, like it's just pounding? That's what the fuck happened. That shit just like, now my ass still under the covers because I'm not coming back out. I should have been went under the covers. So he looks at me. He's like, "It's scary, right?" I'm ignoring him because I'm still mad scared. He was like, "He looks scary, right?" Fuck, nigga, I don't fucking know. I'm glad I can't see that shit. So then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make a run for it. But I thought, I'm like, how the hell I'm gonna run in, grab my son at the same time? Ain't gonna work. One of us gonna get caught. So I laid there. I come from under the cover. Then I said, "Kaden, nobody's on the ceiling," because I'm trying to act tough, but I'm shook, like shook. Soon as I said that, boy, the ceiling fan just like did like that, real hard and fast. Remember in the other video, I told y'all I was scorching there. That's why I didn't want to get under the covers. So where the fuck did that wind come from? And to think about it, like all the movies I watched and I saw like the people doing dumb shit and I'm like, oh, I would never do that. Like if that was me, no, nigga. Because when you scared, like all that shit that you would do goes out the fucking window. That ass.
I think she's right about that. When you're scared, like it's like, isn't it Mike Tyson had this quote that like everyone's got a plan until they're punched in the face?
Oh, that's a very good quote. I did not know that.
Yeah,
That's true
and
though.
it's completely true. I didn't realize she said the N-word so many times either. So let's keep going. There is this one. Wait, hold on a second.
While you're looking for that, I was reminded, I was a creepy kid according to my mom. Although I never, I don't know if she was teasing me when she's told this story before. She's told it multiple times, or if she was serious. But she has said that when I was little, like 2 or 3, I was sitting on her lap in the living room on the couch, and I happened to look down the hallway towards our bedrooms and the attic door, and I asked my mom, "Who is that?" And and there was no one there. And I know when I was really little, I was a big fan of Casper the Friendly Ghost, the cartoon, that was on TV. And I remember referring to that we had Casper in our house, but I don't remember ever being serious about it. But maybe I was at one point. I don't know. But according to my mom, I did that.
So you were a creepy kid.
I was a creepy kid, yes. According to my mom. Now, the next time I talk to her, I'll ask her again if she was serious that I really did that. And I'll come back and I'll confirm. But man, Amy, if I was a creepy kid, then if I had kids, they would definitely be creepy.
Definitely would be creepy. Did Beth have creepy kids?
I don't think so. She's never told me anything about what my nephew has said, anything creepy. So, and I don't remember her doing anything creepy, although I used to scare her all the time because I had a doll that was like 3 foot tall. And I used to scare her with that doll. And to this day, she's still terrified of creepy dolls.
Yeah, my sister scared me with those little jewelry boxes that had the ballerina that spun around. To this day, I don't like those.
Oh, those are cool.
Yeah, she told me that her and her friend told me that there was a ghost in the house, in their friend's house, and that when they opened up the thing, that it spun around and it pointed to each one of them. Did one spun pointed, did another spun pointed, and then she's also the one that terrified me of the basement. And we my mom moved us to Ohio when I was in the 1st grade. And then in the middle of the 1st grade, we moved back to Michigan. And we moved into my aunt's basement. And she told me that she saw a woman rocking in the rocking chair at the end of my bed. And that was over. That was after that. I was just terrified at night. Like I had night terrors. I used to scream when they would try to put me into bed. I used to go and break in to my mom's room at night. She would lock me out. And I was only 4 years old, by the way. It does, I wasn't a holy terror. I was just scared of the dark. So anyway, yeah, my sister would scare me too. So I feel you, Beth. I feel you.
All right, what do we have next?
This one, at first, the first time when I first looked at it, I was like, this isn't much, but it gets a little more intense as it goes into it.
And seemed very upset. The boy claimed that, quote, a man was moving things in the other room. The dad follows the boy into the living room to find things scattered all across the floor. So he checks his security cam to see just what happened. What he finds chills him to his core.
What is that?
So when I first saw this, I thought fishing wire, something, nah.
Crab. That look like some sort of ocean crab. What is that on a string? This a hoax. This got to be a hoax. What is that?
Then I was like, it's a freaking vacuum cleaner. I was like literally screaming at the screen, but it gets more intense.
Okay.
Is that one of them cleanup robots, or is that a? Ooh. Hey, you might want to run. You trying to protect? What are you doing? Well, he gonna pick it up and throw it, and it's still moving. I don't do that.
My God.
I don't. If something move, oh my goodness.
And then watched.
He's a child. He doesn't know any better. But I don't care. I'd be spooked as hell. I don't even care how old I am. If I see something that seems a bit odd, I'm going to tweet. So props for him for being big, bad, and bold and picking it up and drop slamming it on the floor like it's a Randy Orton move in WWE wrestling. My fault. Ooh, just knocked him out. He is really fighting that thing. Oh, and they keep moving. He just keep fighting it. He just playing with it. That's crazy. I'd be out of there. Look, he acting like he a cat. This is what cats do. They chase mice and just little things that they see move in the corner of their eye. We're not felines. You need to get up and run away to safety. Run.
Across the living room floor, all by themselves. The seemingly annoyed little boy rushes over to the objects and even starts picking up the dog bed and throwing it back to the floor in frustration. The dog bed then aggressively slides back towards him, knocking him over. But luckily, the little boy lands right on the soft bed. So just what was the boy seeing when he told his dad that, quote, a man was moving things? Could some dark presence be haunting their home?
I think so.
You decide.
What do you think? Was that a hoax or was it real?
Well, you never know with room cams nowadays. Is that cam on all the time, and why is it on? Or is it just conveniently on for this little demonstration?
He said he went and checked the security cam, so it's on all the time. And I thought that was a vacuum, but it was just a dog bed.
Yeah. Well, that makes it even worse because there's no reason for a dog bed to be moving on its own.
Yeah.
That's pretty creepy. Yeah, I would say that I would be moving. I would be selling that house and moving.
Okay. Here's another one that has to do with kids' toys.
That lights up, plays music, and features a pre-recorded voice that says cute little phrases.
Ew.
Nothing too odd there. But over the next few weeks, Edgar starts to notice his niece talking to the mirror daily. And some of the toy's responses are eerily intelligent, almost as if it can hear and respond to the little girl. Edgar and the girl's mom decide to ask some questions themselves.
Throw it out,
what
bro.
happens
Throw that
next
shit out.
is truly
Y'all sitting up here
disturbing.
playing. Throw it out. That raggedy ass toy.
Hola, bienvenido al Castillo de los Sueños del Espejo Mágico. ¿Cuál es tu nombre? Yo soy Jessie, la princesa más bella del Castillo de los Sueños del Espejo Mágico. ¡Qué tierna eres! Nosotras seremos mejores amigas. ¿Tu personaje favorito? Si papá pregunta, mi favorito es mi papi.
What?
Si mamá pregunta, yo responderé que la que más me gusta es mi mami. Y si tú me preguntas, le diré que la que más me gusta eres tú. Soy una niña muy inteligente.
The mirror says that its name is Jessie, and it gives oddly specific answers to the mother's questions. Well, Edgar...
That old-ass, ancient-ass toy ain't got no motherboard smart enough to be talking that intelligently. What is this, AI? If that dust particle built ass ancient toy was talking that crazily to me, what did they install? What? Because I'll sue whoever the hell I got it from. What is installed on that chip? Because the mirror talking like it wants your soul. That's a little too dark and demented for me.
And it gives oddly specific answers to the mother's questions. Well, Edgar and the girl's mom are a little freaked out.
Yeah.
They remove the batteries from the toy and store it in the barn behind the house.
Or just
years pass, and the family forgets all about the toy until they start to hear a strange little voice coming from the barn in the middle of the night. Edgar says that the voice sounded just like the mirror toy and was saying things like, "Come play with me," followed by a sinister little giggle. He posted his video and story to TikTok, and things got even weirder. Because you see, some viewers commented that they had the exact same mirror toy, but they said that their mirror didn't talk at all. Viewers urged Edgar to make one more video with a strange toy. He's reluctant, but eventually he searches out the mirror in the family's barn, and this happens.
Para los que me estuvieron pidiendo que buscara el espejo y le pusiera batería, aquí está. Solo pude encontrar estas piezas y pues sí, le puse unas baterías que tenía aquí en la casa. Como ven, son nuevas. La neta no creo que prenda, pero bueno, a ver, vamos a calarle. Miedo.
Hola, bienvenido al Castillo de los Sueños del Espejo Mágico.
Hola.
Hola, encantado de conocerte.
Gracias, a mí igual. Me da gusto.
Eres muy divertido. ¿Tienes una fiesta?
No, no tengo fiesta. ¿Tú tienes?
No sé. Cuando me levanté, te vi a ti.
Ay, vas a chingar a tu madre.
You sit up there laughing. The shit communicating with you.
So the mirror isn't supposed to be talking at all. Other people who had the mirror, it doesn't talk.
The true test would be to see if it would talk without the batteries, kind of like Chucky. I've been watching the Chucky TV series. And there are a couple times where they're like, is it talking? Does it have batteries? Check to see if there's batteries, and they check and there's no batteries.
Yeah, I don't know. I that thing probably would have been something I would have loved to have. So, but I don't know.
Yeah, I would have loved that. I would have loved that too. But if I was in that situation, it would be burned. I would take it outside and burn it.
Yeah. Here's one where a kid says something in front of a dad and he's just not expecting it. So this is one of the ones where they just bust out and they're not expecting it.
I see dead people.
What? Look at me.
I see dead people.
What?
I see dead people.
He's like, what do we do now? And it's just funny how kids just bust out with the just normal stuff like, hey, I see dead people.
Right.
Here's a story of a mom who's just not having it.
I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night. No, I didn't. Because my daughter woke up in the middle of the night, looked me dead in the eyeball and said, "Mommy, I'm afraid of what's under the bed." And in my head, I was thinking, that's really fucking creepy. I, too, am now afraid of what's under the bed. That's not what I said, though. No, what I said was, honey, there's nothing under the bed. Just go back to sleep. Did I believe that? No. Actually, I'm pretty sure there was something under the bed. But I lied to her for her comfort. And then she asked me to check under the bed. And in my head, I was like, ain't no fucking way am I getting out of bed right now to check under it. Instead, I reassured her that there was nothing under the bed. And I told her to go back to sleep. And she tried for a minute. Her eyes fluttered. They like a little bit. And then they popped right open again, and she was looking at the TV that was turned off in our dark room. And she goes, "Mommy, who's that on the TV?" And in my head, I'm thinking, dog, I don't fucking know. You tell me. You're the one seeing dead people. Who the fuck is that on the TV? Because I don't see it, but I'm terrified. I don't say that. No, instead I say, honey, the TV's turned off. There's no one on the TV. Just go back to sleep. And she falls back asleep eventually. You know who doesn't? Me. Because I'm afraid of what's under the bed now. And I'm wondering who the fuck that was on my TV that was turned off. Who was it? And now I'm thinking I need to fucking spray my daughter with holy water. Except I don't have holy water. What I do have is Dawn dish soap power scrub. I could spray her with that, hit her with a microfiber towel, and hope that fucking works. I'm terrified right now. And I'm a little bit tired, but mostly terrified.
Yeah.
I feel like you like have to be the strong one in the situation, but yeah, it is terrifying when kids bust out with the creepy stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so I've got one more. This is one a girl that goes to parties. She's obviously dressed as the Little Mermaid, and she's got a story that a kid told her.
Creepiest thing just happened to me at one of my princess parties. And I'm not over it. It was really weird. So I go into the house, the little girl, the birthday girl, and her friends are so excited to see me. And she's showing me around. Everything is good. And then she says, Ariel, I have to tell you a secret. So I'm like, okay, what do you want to tell me? And I bend down and she whispers in my ear and she said, my imaginary friend wants to come home with you. But I failed to mention, I am a psychic medium, paranormal investigator, haunted dog collector, and party performer. And I walked into the house and I did feel like a heavy presence. I think her imaginary friend is a spirit. So her telling me that her imaginary friend wants to come home with me, I was on edge for the rest of the party, but that's not where it ends. She kept pointing at this imaginary friend and she said, it's a little boy. And then she kept trying to take me down into the basement to talk to him. Come talk to my imaginary friend. We go to the basement. I was like, well, let's open up some presents. How about that? Trying to change the subject and everything, but she was so persistent on getting me down in the basement to talk to this imaginary friend. And I felt so on edge. I'm like, I was trying to avoid it at all costs. I've done like a million parties, but I can say that this one takes the cake. It was so scary, creepy, and I was just ready to get out of there. And everything is okay. I'm not bringing no imaginary friends home with me today.
How about that?
You know, that kind of reminded me a little bit about that house that we investigated in reading. That woman that had the teenage boy. Remember her? And she was like recording EVPs like all the time.
Was it the farmhouse?
Yes, the farmhouse. Okay, and our first night there, we only went to about like midnight or so, and it was getting close to midnight, and we hadn't gone down in the basement yet where she had an activity, and we were like debating whether or not we wanted to go down there or save it for the next time we were there, and we decided not to go, that we were going to do it next time. And when she played back the recording, you heard the voice while we were talking about it. We heard a voice that said, "Get them to go downstairs." Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That's what that reminded me of.
Yeah. I'm glad that we didn't go downstairs that day.
Me too.
Because that was a creepy voice. It whispered it. Get 'em downstairs. No,
Yeah,
that was a creepy space. Whatever she had there.
Yeah, that was yeah.
So I looked around the internet to see what people were talking about. Why do many, because I always want to know why do the kids see it more than the other people? And over on Reddit, they were talking about it. Why do many children claim to see people, supernatural beings, adults can't? Does anyone have a theory as to why this may be? In some cases, kids who have unusual sightings haven't seen horror movies or know of crimes yet, although they still claim they see other beings that we can't. I've heard many similar stories over the years that are questionable. Do you think in most cases it really is their imagination? What about the few cases where weird events will occur around the house, but that the child couldn't have done themselves? Why does this seem much more common in children than adults who have little information on the supernatural to begin with? Why do you think?
Well, they're not tainted. So, I mean, like you said, the closer they are to birth, the closer they are to the other side. I don't know.
I think I think that the veil isn't there for them so that they're still able to see what's on the other side. I think there's a lot that we can't see. I think there's a lot that's happening, and it will actually the veil, like if it's true what Stacy said, that if there is no veil, then I think there must still have to be some veil because we would be seeing all of, like everybody would be seeing it, wouldn't they? I don't know.
Well, she said it was an individual thing.
Yeah. But if more and more people are reporting this, and the kids that are reporting it, they're reporting things that adults have reported, that how would they possibly know? And that's, like a good point.
Yeah.
Kind of looking at this article that you sent me, children who report memories of past lives. Does it get into that at all? This report?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll read that quote. Some young children, usually between the ages of 2 and 5, speak about memories of a previous life they claim to have lived. At the same time, they often show behaviors such as phobias or preferences that are unusual within the context of their particular family and cannot be explained by any current life events. In many cases, the child's statements correspond accurately to the life and death of a deceased individual. Some children have birthmarks or birth defects congruent with wounds or marks on the deceased person, using postmortem reports to confirm. Older children may retain these apparent memories, but they generally seem to fade around the age of 7. The subjects of these cases have been found all over the world, including Europe and North America. So it talks about 2 thought-provoking cases. James Leininger, who has memories of being a World War II pilot and getting shot down, and Ryan Hammond's memories of being a Hollywood extra and talent agent. So, you know what? It really, let's see. Do we want to read the list of statement examples?
Yeah, because it will give us an idea of some of the things that kids might say. Because I didn't know. Well, you know what? In these TikToks that I watched today, yeah, I've heard some of them say, like some of the stories were where the mother would say, like the child said, "You're not my mommy or daddy," or "You're not my first mommy and daddy," or yeah, "You're not my mommy or daddy." So, or "I have another mommy and daddy" was a big one too.
Mm-hmm. When I was big, example, used to have blue eyes, have a car, work downtown, or that happened before I was in mommy's tummy.
Yeah.
I have a wife, children, or husband. I used to drive a car, live in another town. I died in a car accident or after I fell. Or remember when I lived in that other house, or was your daddy. That's creepy.
Yeah, there was one where this kid said that before you were my daddy, I was a soldier too, and then I died, and then you became my daddy.
Yeah, that's weird. That is so weird. But this says that in Western culture, these types of statements often get dismissed as fantasy, even though they might contain something other than pure imagination. It's possibly best to not to repeatedly question the child, nor try to prevent them from speaking about these topics. Really?
I think it would be hard not to question.
I think so too. Because you want to get to the bottom of it. Like, is this something that's purely uninfluenced, or did they hide behind the couch one night while you were watching a horror movie and you didn't know it? And now they.
Yeah. I guess I'm maybe not questioning them so that they don't like start bringing their imagination into it. I don't know. Over on Quora, they were asking, have there been any studies or research into why young children might have experiences that seem supernatural or inexplicable to adults. And this person brought up something that said most studies end up confirming whatever the bias of the researchers was in the first place. See studies on wine, coffee, or chocolate for the proof of that. So depending on researcher bias, children are either more imaginative with a world richer in magical thought than is the case for adults, or young children are still more in tune with their spirit selves and now not yet fully spiritually incarnated. The latter view is beautifully expressed by William Wordsworth in these excerpts. There was a time when meadow, grove, and stream, the earth and every common sight, to me did seem apparelled in celestial light. The glory and the freshness of a dream, it is not now, it is hath been of yore. Turn whole. I'll let you read this. I'm not good at. You're an English major, so you read that.
All right. It is not now as it hath been of yore. Turn wheresoe'er I may, by night or day. The things which I have seen, I now can see no more. Our birth is but a sleep and a forgetting. The soul that rises with us, our life's star, hath had elsewhere its setting, and cometh from afar. Not in entire forgetfulness and not in utter nakedness, but trailing clouds of glory do we come from God, who is our home. Heaven lies about us in our infancy. Shades of the prison house begin to close upon the growing boy, but he beholds the light and whence it flows. He sees it in his joy. The youth, who daily farther from the east must travel, still is nature's priest, and by the vision splendid is on his way attended. At length the man perceives it die away and fade into the light of common day. Suffice to say that this is very far from being merely a new age fancy. Wow.
Yeah.
So that's been ongoing.
Mhm.
Weird.
It is. And you sent some stories for us to go through.
I love these.
Are they up on screen? Let me make sure.
Yep. Okay, so the first one is from Reddit. Reddit user, what does it say? Kiboki the hippo. My son was about 4.5 and his sister was 18 months. I said I was really sorry because I wouldn't be able to read them a story that night as I had a meeting to go to, but I would read 2 the following night to make it up. My son said, "It's okay, Mommy. Auntie Tracy will read to us." I felt the hairs go up on the back of my neck. I thought he must have that wrong. So I said, "Who?" He answered, "Auntie Tracy, Mama. She looks just like you. After we go to bed, she reads and sings to us." I had never told them that I was an identical twin and my sister was stillborn. Her name was Tracy.
Kids say the darndest things.
Yep. Okay, and this one is by user Adriana Dixon. What is something creepy or weird you heard a child say? My mother babysits 2 little girls, a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. One day I was outside behind our house with the 3-year-old and she looked at the woods, turned back to me with a look of confusion on her face and said, "Why's the tall man with the hat here?" I looked and there was no tall man. Later, when her mother was picking her up, I told her about it, and she said, "Oh yeah, she sees him all the time. He lives in her playroom and follows her around." Since she nonchalantly showed me pictures from the camera at their house, she then nonchalantly showed me pictures from the camera at our house of a tall shadow with a hat moving alongside the wall outside of her playroom.
Yeah, that cat gets brought up a lot on Monsters Among Us. It's one of my favorite podcasts. And by the way, also if anyone likes Monsters Among Us, he has a lot of the kids were calling and leaving their stories, and so now he has a whole show for the younger crowd.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next one. You got to scroll up for me, babe. Thank you. This one doesn't have a username, but it says my dad died 6 months ago. A few times a week, my 2.5-year-old tells me about how she was just out playing with Granddad in the garden, or how Granddad is waving at her from the window, or Granddad came to say night-night. Stuff I thought was just kids' imagination, harmless and nice that she remembers him. Then a few weeks ago, I went to a psychic night, just a fun night out with the girls. The psychic singled me straight away. She said, "Did you lose your father recently?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Do you have a really little one?" "Only a toddler." Again, I answered, "Yes." She replied, "She can see him. He draws off of her energy to come and visit you both." My mind blown. So I shouldn't say creepy, as it is comforting, but I admit it scared me a little. I think that's creepy.
Yeah, me too. No like.
No. Okay, mathematician LCY 2750. My son, who is now 11, as a 2-year-old, pointed at a completely normal photo of a smiling little boy in the newspaper and said, "Oh no, him dead."
Oh no.
I started to laugh and asked why he thought that, and then I read the article. Yeah, the kid had just been killed in the Boston Marathon bombing, but there was nothing in the photo to imply that. Well, not like a 2-year-old could read, anyways. But
Yeah.
yeah, and they're not going to show a dead body. I mean, come on. And we never had physical newspapers in the house, so he had no association of the paper and bad news.
Yeah. See, kids are
Wow.
why I believe in reincarnation and that there's something out there.
Yeah. Okay, shortly after we moved to our new house, my son and I were playing, and he was talking to himself. I asked him about it, and he said he was talking to another mommy who used to live right here. I asked about her kids, and he said she has 2 boys and 2 girls. We bought the house from 4 adult siblings. Yes, 2 men and 2 women. Their mom had lived there for 50 years and recently died. There was no way my son would have known this. He was just under the age of 3 at the time. I was freaked out and said something like, "Well, we bought this house and she doesn't live here anymore." To which he replied, "She said, don't worry. She's just visiting. She's going away now." Never brought it up again.
Oh boy.
Right? Right. And I think the next ones. Okay. So this one has. Oh, I sent 2 of the same thing. Okay.
Oh, is it?
Well, I sent. I must have did it wrong. Okay. We told my 3 from Summer Sarah. We told my 3-year-old we were going to visit a nearby town and throw rocks in a river that flows through it. He said, "Oh, that's the river where a man was floating." I asked my husband, "Did you see someone swimming on the lake last time you were there?" And the kid says right away, "Oh no, he wasn't swimming. He was floating face down." But that was another time, back when I lived there. We never lived there. And I think I also liked that the response down there. I don't know if are you able to scroll up more? Okay. My son was like this at around 2 to 3. He told me he was a captain in the military and saved his friends from eating poppies. He said exactly, and no, we hadn't watched Wizard of Oz, the poppy scene. One time when he was really little, he saw a picture of my grandmother who had passed before he was born. He yelled, "I know her! That's my friend!" That was actually pretty comforting, though. But I think...
That is comforting. Is that I think there's another one down here.
Oh, good. Okay, so the person... okay. All right, I must have missed it. There was another one where it talked about a woman named Karen who had died. And someone saw a kid saw a woman named Karen who had died, and the person said in her response, she went on, "Yeah, I must have sent you the wrong one. I'm sorry." But in response, because she said, yeah, they researched it, and a person had died in the river nearby, named Karen. So Yeah, weirdness. So
That
much
is
weird. I like when they investigate and they find correlations to what they say. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I do too. I like it. And like sometimes I almost like stories more than just watching the paranormal clips because I don't know, a story you can put in your own imagination and it can be even more creepy.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think that's why I like the Monsters Among Us because it's people actually calling in and just talking to a line and just telling their story and it's just in their own words and yeah, I like that.
Me too. Me too.
So tell us, you guys, have you had any creepy kid stories? Because we'd love to hear them. We'd love to maybe read some and do this again this fall, like in September and October.
Ooh, that would be fun.
Yeah. We do have this new, we're bringing back the ParaWorld news. So we're going to wrap up the evening with the ParaWorld news with Shannon. I did make a little overlay. I couldn't make it move, but there it is. Shannon with the ParaWorld news.
Fun. I love it.
And so your first story, how do you want me to do this? Do you want me to bring up the stories and then you're going to summarize?
Yeah, you can just pop them up and I'll summarize them.
Okay.
So, do you remember the Slender Man murders, Amy? Back in Wisconsin? Oh, so in 2000, for those who don't remember them or never heard of them, back in 2014, 12-year-old Morgan Geyser and Anissa Weir lured their classmate, Peyton Leitner, into the woods near their hometown of Waukesha, Wisconsin, and attacked her with a knife because they were trying to appease an entity, a mythical entity from the internet known as the Slender Man. And yeah, he is depicted in stories to be a tall, skinny humanoid creature with a white and featureless face and head. So they attacked her. They left her for dead after stabbing her 19 times. But she miraculously survived, crawled out of the woods, and was rescued by a bicyclist that found her. So both girls were found not guilty by reason of insanity, and they were sent to institutions. And just recently, 23-year-old Geyser is now being released to a group home, and the mother of the victim is mad because that group home is only like 8 miles from her home.
Oh.
And so she complained about it, and the discharge plan was changed, and they're going to have Geyser wear a GPS monitor now 24/7. And so that is good. It's still, I mean,
the one that actually did it. She's the one that jumped on her and did it.
Okay. I was not aware of that.
Yeah, we covered this one together.
Okay.
At the time, the first one, the Anessa or whatever, she was the one getting out, and this one was trying to get out, but they weren't letting her.
Yes, Anissa was released in 2021, and she will be monitored by the court until she's 37. So that's good.
I mean, they can't keep them in forever. They did charge them as just minors or whatever they were, so eventually they're going to get out, but letting her live so close is outrageous.
Yeah, that's crazy. They should be they should not be within 8 miles of the home. That's terrible. That is person.
Terrible.
All right, so that's the Slender Man. The next one, Cher. I love Cher.
I do too.
And it's probably no surprise to anyone that the singer of Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves or Dark Lady is reaching out to mediums. Sadly, her mom, Georgia Holt, died back in 2022. And now she's at risk to lose her son, Elijah Blue Allman, to drugs. He recently almost died due to an overdose and is just really struggling to overcome his addiction. Sources say that Cher has turned to psychic mediums to contact her mom to help her with her son. In fact, she reaches out to her mom daily since her death in 2022. But this isn't the first time that Cher apparently used mediums to reach out. She, back when Sonny Bono, her ex-husband, died in a ski accident in 1998, she reached out to him with psychic mediums. And she was really impressed because she said the medium knew things that he wouldn't have known unless he was actually speaking to Sonny Bono.
Oh. Cher rescued a whole ass elephant. She's an amazing person.
She is. I love Cher. I wish her the best. I know it's tough to get over a loved one.
I can't imagine losing a child, and a mother, and so I mean, do what you gotta do, I say.
Yeah.
She's not hurting anyone.
Nope, she's not. Good for her. I hope she finds peace. Definitely. Amy, do you use umbrellas?
When it rains, yes, I do.
Okay. Yeah. And some people also use them for sun protection too, like, parasols, or when you're on the beach and those big giant umbrellas on the beach, right? Well, in Japan, they use umbrellas as spiritual vessels, or also called what they call yorishiro. I don't know. An object that attracts gods or spirits. Umbrellas were first seen in Japan between the 9th and 11th centuries and served as symbols of spiritual or political power. So attendants would hold long-handled sashikake gasa, and they would hold those over religious and political figures. They believed that the circular shape of the umbrella resembles the shape of the soul, and the long handle resembles a pillar. And therefore it was a very good place for a soul to descend. By the 12th century, basically the general public was using umbrellas too. And so they do that for spirits. And they have a lot of festivals that utilize umbrellas throughout the year, like annual festivals. Let me turn my page. The first one that I want to talk about is the Yasurai Matsuri, which is in Kyoto, and it's the second week of April. And they use umbrellas to extract diseases and illnesses from people.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then there's also the Hakata Dentaku Festival, which is in Fukuoka, a town called Fukuoka, I think. And it's held every year, May 3rd and 4th. And giant umbrellas are paraded down the streets as floats. And if you go under one, you'll have good health and good fortune, they say. Mm-hmm. And then the most exciting one, I think, is cool. The Oban Festival, which is on the island of Okinoshima. And that's held every August 13th through the 16th. So yesterday was the last day of the festival. And they create vividly decorated umbrellas to house the souls of the recently deceased. And then every other year, on the last day of the festival, they are carried in a ritual dance around the platform to guide the souls back to the spirit world. So if you die and it's not a dance year, you're kind of screwed. You have to stick around on Earth for another year.
Man, you can't even leave when you die. You got to stick around because you didn't die in a dance year.
Right. And they also have what are called kasa yokas, umbrella spirits with one eye and quirky features. That they depict the umbrella spirits with one eye and quirky features. So if you ever find yourself in Japan, on a rainy day and pop open an umbrella, you may be doing more than trying not to get wet.
That's a good one. I'm going to think twice popping open an umbrella, I guess.
Right, and I'm guessing it can probably happen anywhere, not just Japan. But I guess Japan has laid the groundwork for it, so maybe it works better in Japan than it does anywhere else.
Maybe they got it down pat better than anywhere. Well, I mean, Japan does have. They do, now that you're talking about it, they do have a lot of umbrella stuff.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. So yesterday, depending on what year it is, yesterday, a bunch of spirits may have gone home. Who knows?
It's a dance year then, huh?
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh.
I wonder if I can find that out.
I don't know.
I don't know if I care enough to research that.
They might have gone back, or they might be waiting another year, just so you all know. I love the ParaWorld news. I loved all of this show tonight. It was a really good show.
It was a lot of fun.
Did you have anything else for tonight? I don't have anything.
Nope, I sure don't. I have a plate of barbecued baked chicken and corn sitting next to me for dinner that my cat Elvis tried to. I'm pretty sure he stole some chicken because I happened to look over and he was licking his chops sitting right next to it. So I'm thinking I need to eat that pretty soon.
How can a kitty resist chicken? I mean, really?
I know.
Okay, well, I will see you next week then.
All right.
Go have your
See
chicken.
All right. Bye, everyone. Good night, Amy.
Bye. Okay, guys, be sure to give this live a thumbs up. Share it out into the algorithm for us. And don't forget to, if you would like to support us even more, that Wild Deodorant is our sponsor tonight. I do have the link, and I will put the links for everything that we view down in the YouTube show notes. Everything we do this to cite our sources and for fair play use. Everything's just our opinion and for entertainment purposes only. Thank you, Wild Deodorant, for supporting us. I'm going to head out, you guys. If nobody's told you this today, and even if they have, I'm still going to tell you guys this. I love you guys so, so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
I miss my cube, baby, I had you. Miss my cube, but I had you for that day. Here in the blue, I'm falling deep.
Be sure to give this live a thumbs up. Helps me go out into the algorithm party out there. Bring more people back to the party. It's just a good way to help me.
Baby, I'm dancing with you tonight, and it feels fine, feels fine. Baby, I'm dancing